Okay, we're here. 7 o'clock. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you guys doing? Good morning. Good morning. Let's get this up and running. Good morning. Dirk, good morning. Okay, good morning, guys. Okay, we're here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of day. We're back. Back in the New York groove. Nah, no sugars in mine, thanks. Take mine without sugar. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Everyone's watch running correctly? I don't know. I can't tell you. I know mine is here I am, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Good morning, Robert. Okay, we've got 3 weeks from tomorrow is the trade show. It is going to be a very, very it's going to pop. It's going to be a big show. Really big show. Boston, good morning. How are you? Feeling rambunctious. Badger country. Smack is in the building. Okay. Here we go. What else we got? George, good morning. Matt, Dirk, Jordo, of course. Gary, good morning. Ace Frehley, man, that's the news of the day. I was so sad to hear that, man. Ace Frehley, fucking legend. You know, I don't care whether you were a Kiss fan or not. Ace Frehley was transcended, he was bigger than Kiss. Ace was just, I saw them live in 78 at the Garden. I think it was the Love Gun tour or Destroyer. No, Destroyer was the one before that. It's either 77 or 78. I did see them, I think. And I remember they opened with Detroit Rock City and Ace had the flaming pickup. Oh my God, fucking Ace. Sad. And he fell and hit his head supposedly, which is, Bobby, good morning. Yeah, terrible, man, terrible. Yeah, Destroyer on 8-track. I think when I look back at like the records that really kind of, moved me in the beginning, Kiss Alive and Destroyer. Because they were like 2 years apart, if I'm not mistaken. Kiss Alive came out in 75, 76, if I'm not mistaken. That was one of them. Led Zeppelin 4. Then Presence came out in 77. But I was already into Led Zeppelin and Kiss. Those were the two groups that drove me back in the day. Everybody else was, everybody else fell in. Tomorrow's Meet? Who is this guy? Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, Flaming Youth. No, my favorite line was, doesn't matter what you do or say, just forget the things that you've been told. Fantastic. People knock them, okay? But looking back on Kiss, and Kiss started in the out of the movement in the Lower East Side and the early glam punk movement, which, they just took it and ran with it and made a ton of fucking money. A ton of money, which shouldn't really negate their impact and their influence. The Dolls laid the foundation, yes, absolutely, 100%. But Kiss, they were all part of that same movement down there. When you look at the Dolls and you look at, Jerry Nolan and you look at Mark Bell, okay, Marky Ramone, aka Mark Ramone, and you look at those guys and these guys were all part of that same movement down there. Paul Stanley was, what was the group? Wicked Lester. was their first group. I mean, just really, you could see that they, you know, that they were going to go somewhere. The Dolls had so many internal demons. I mean, I'm friendly with a lot of those, the relatives and friends. You guys know, uh, and it was just really sad. And when David died just recently, I had seen David in at a show in Brooklyn. Actually, my wife and I. Wow, like 6 years ago, he was playing in some fucking place in Bushwick. Go figure. And I look on my phone. We were having dinner in the city one night, and we were like, okay, we're going. And we went there, and we were standing right there, and I hadn't seen Dave. David took a picture of me and Rick Derringer. That famous picture of me and Rick, David took that picture in 77 at the Capitol Theater. I mean, yeah. Oh, New York Doll, fucking Arthur, man. Arthur's wife, Jesus. Arthur's wife, Barbara, would stay in touch. I mean, these guys, they died penniless, and the impact that they look at Harold C. Black from what do you call it? Teenage Lust, and David Peel and those guys. I mean, people forget the influence that they had. I mean, they played with John Lennon at the Concert for New York. They were on stage with John. I mean, unbelievably, influential and, groundbreaking musicians who died fucking penniless. Sylvain died fucking penniless, bro. I bought a jacket off him. I'll never forget this. He was, it was the day of the Super Bowl when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. It was the Seahawks and Denver. And I'm looking through eBay and I saw this jacket, the New York Dolls jacket that I knew it was Sills. And I look and it was Sylvain was the name on it. I was like, what? So I contacted him through eBay. I was like, I want it. I wound up buying the jacket off him. I sent him a label. He shipped me the jacket. We spoke on the phone. I mean, then he went through cancer treatment. And it's like, you look at some of these guys and they all, they sold all their rights. They sold, everything that they're mismanaged. Johnny Thunders. John was mismanaged from the get-go. Just crazy. And then when Jerry died in 90, 91, oh my God. Just terrible stuff. Sad. But getting back to Ace, I mean, listen, that man lived. Okay, when you talk about a guy who lived, I mean, when we talk about borrowed time, fucking Ace was a fucking sick maniac. He was a maniac, a true rock and roll legend. They don't make them like that anymore. These kids today, they have nothing on these guys. These were four guys who got on stage, plugged in, and played. There were no background tracks, no friggin' horn sections piped in, nothing. They just got up and played, and they could play. People, are very, how could I say it? They don't respect the influence that Kiss had on a generation, my generation. And, it was very sad to hear that Ace went out like that. Because he was touring up until a month ago. He fell, hit his head, had a brain bleed, and finally died. Yeah. Cheap Trick was great, too. I mean, Rick Nielsen, you could see Rick at any NAMM show. Rick is usually there selling guitars. He's a big guitar collector, Rick. And a very nice guy. It's crazy, man. Just crazy. Sad. Oh, it's sad, bro. Very sad to hear about Ace. I heard about it last night. I was like, no. In any event, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, fuck it. Just mute them. Just fucking mute them if they don't figure it out. Yeah, Ace passed away last night. Yeah, sadly. Sadly. Yeah. Cheap Trick, man. Great group. Great group. And Keith Richards, man. Yeah. You know what it is, though? I mean, a lot of these guys, okay, their longevity is directly tied to their bank account, okay? And you can debate that with me, but it's the truth. A lot of these guys that had no money, the GoFundMe pages popping up. I remember, I mean, I can't even count how many GoFundMe pages for, old school rock stars, guys that we worshiped back in the day, that, would just, they fell on hard times. It's like, wow, these guys wrote great songs. They toured the world, and they can't pay their rent. It's just so fucking crazy. Just crazy, man. Crazy, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Just sad. I mean, Iggy's, a lot of I mean, look, they went broke and came back thanks to Run DMC. Believe it or not, Run DMC put them back on the map. Nelson, good morning. Yeah, it's bad, man. It's just bad. Just very sad. I went to sleep sad and I woke up sad over Ace. I actually have an autograph in my office. You guys, something? I just realized that right on my fucking safe, I have a framed autograph of Ace, a cut that I've had for fucking 30 years. Fucking Ace. Man, you know what? That's right. I do. I have a fucking, what do you call it? Yeah, Iggy looks like Jennifer Aniston now. Yeah, listen. See, it's like a lot of guys, mismanagement back in the day. We were talking about this. I was speaking about this with the gentleman that came into the store yesterday. We were talking about the record business. And, you don't understand when you get pitched, like, when you get signed and you get an advance, it's basically an advance against any earnings. So they'll give you $50,000 and they'll be like, oh, you gotta pay for the production of the video. You gotta pay for promotion. You gotta pay for advertising. You gotta pay for this. By the time you're done, you're in like couple $1 million. You're not making any money. You're just not. Oh, I was in the Kiss Army. Fuck yeah. I still had, what was that? Where did it come? It came with, I think, Rock and Roll Over. Remember the sticker that came with that? Oh my God. Yeah, to have people you never met remember you fondly. Yeah, it's alone. Yeah, man. Fucking A. Oh, I've got tons of autographs. I've got a big box of autographs down in the basement that I had. I used to deal autographs 25 years ago, almost 30 years ago. One of the first collectible businesses that I got into. Oh, man, it's crazy. Yeah, record companies are no joke. They're not just, they're not just there to help. They're there to help themselves, too. It's crazy, man. Yeah, New York Groove. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Nothing like it, man. And the thing that a lot of people don't realize is these guys actually played. No one plays anymore. No one plays. Everybody's, running background tracks or lip syncing and this and that. It's nobody plays anymore. And it's sad. It's sad. Good morning, Mark. Yeah, New York Groove. The Ace Frehley solo album, when they put out their, they were marketing, they were just a marketing machine. I think they sold the rights to everything. I think Gene and Paul sold their stake in Kiss for like $350 million, which I thought was kind of cheap. I didn't think that was that much money, considering everything that that you get with it. Everything is trademarked. The makeup is trademarked. Everything. They were fucking geniuses. They just were. They were geniuses, man. Oh, well. It is what it is. What's on my fucking tongue over here? What is that? It's fucking Ace coming to get me. Fucking Ace. The famous story of Ace Frehley, I believe, I forget what year, it was probably like 78, like 79 or something like that. He was driving the wrong way down the West Side Highway in a DeLorean, doing like 100 miles an hour. He crashes, has a suitcase full of illegal substances, a suitcase, just gets out and fucking walks away. Fucking Ace. I remember the picture on the fucking New York Post. So fucking crazy. Unbelievable. Listen, you can, I don't know, you could talk about Gene. He's that guy. I was watching an interview with Paul Stanley the other day, like coincidentally, and he was talking about, his relationship with Gene, and he was like, Gene's got an ego that you could see from the horizon. He's like, but it's something that I just deal with. He's got other qualities that are, that supersede that. And he's right. I mean, Gene is a suitcase full of Mandrex. Thank you. There you go. If anybody understands Mandrex, that's some good shit right there, bro. Some good fucking shit. Suitcase full of Mandrex. That's fucking ace. Oh my God. These kids today, they would never know what that is. No shame in Gene. He doesn't, doesn't make any excuses about it. He is who he is. Yeah, music is done. And Gene was doing an interview also where he said that you're never going to get a group like Kiss or the Beatles or Led Zeppelin you're never gonna, because anything that's any good is going to be confiscated by some record company, and they're going to change it. Everyone gets compromised, guys. We're all compromised. I mean, I am too. We're all compromised at some level. Rock and Roll Over was your first? Wow. From all the originals from the reunion tour. Yeah, that's crazy. It's good shit. That is good shit. So has anybody been watching my little, I've been putting videos on this account. I don't know, I just kind of felt like this account was going to waste. So I'm putting some videos on there, just informational videos with my lab coat on. I'm going to have a stethoscope, thanks to Dr. Mark. So I will be doing videos every day that are a little more, I don't want to say educational, a little more detail oriented. Let's put it that way. So you'll see. I hope you guys like that stuff. A lot of people don't. A lot of people want to see the fucking running back and forth and all that other craziness, which is fine, which we do also. But I'd much rather do the stuff where I'm sitting down there explaining stuff. Tropical diodes and color change diodes are a big part of Rolex history. And, I'm into Rolex history, babe. That's me. Morning from London town. Yeah, the real ones do. You're right. You're right, Matt. You're right. I'm glad that I know the guys who really like it. I'm glad they really like it. Yeah. Listen, we try to be, as helpful as possible. Try to help people, mostly helping myself for the most part, but I help people when they show up. We do the best we can. There's a line that you can't cross. There's a certain amount of information that stays with an expert that you'll never give up all the way. And Bobby and I were talking about that a couple of weeks ago. We get pitched all the time to do a course. And, I was saying to Bobby, because we were talking about a podcast, we're talking about, okay, I don't know where it's going to go. But, when you're talking about a course, it's like, do you really want to go out there? It's like, the magician that goes out there and, does the how to do your trick, like Chris Angel did that time way back in the day before he was Chris Angel, and did, showed all the, all the details behind magic tricks. So I don't know, people. What can you do? It's kind of funny. What happened, Jordo? You need me? You need me, Jordo? Talk to me, brother. Morning, good morning. Yeah, the sushi chefs, I mean, guys that are, that are knowledgeable. Let's leave it at that. Guys that are knowledgeable. I mean, I'm very possessive with my information. That's why I never, took anybody in under the company. The only person I ever really wanted to train was my son, and he wasn't interested. Turns out nobody's really interested. But he's gotten to the point where he absorbs it because he's there. And it's this type of thing you don't learn in a week or a year or 5 years. It's something that you have to learn. It's like learning to be a master at stuff, learning to be a master. And, if you don't appreciate that, then there's really nothing more to say, Mark, good morning. How are you, brother? James has lived it his whole life. That's the difference between him and anybody else. It's like he absorbed. I remember the first job that he ever got in the business. He was like 16 years old. He was doing editing. I tell the story often. He was editing videos for Theo and Harris for Christian Zeron. Christian is doing big social media marketing now for London Jewelers, if I'm not mistaken, and a few other brands. Absolute top shelf guy. And Christian needed somebody to edit. And James Buckley knew how to edit. He was young, but he knew. And I remember him coming home, and he would go out there and meet. It was before he had a car, and he would like send these things. They would text him at like 5 in the afternoon on a Saturday night, saying, "Yeah, we need this video by Sunday morning," and he'd be up all night editing and stuff like that. And he'd be like, it's funny. It's like this is him talking. He'd be like, "I'm really starting to absorb a lot of this stuff that I'm editing. I'm just watching and absorbing." And he's got a very good eye. I mean, he gets it, a lot of it from his mother. He gets some of it from me. But when we were in the sneaker business, and I digress with that, we were in the sneaker business, and he was 11, 12 years old. And he had guys at SneakerCon walking up to him for him to do authentications on stuff. He knew everything about that stuff. When he likes something, he dives right into it. He doesn't really like this. That's the thing. He just does it for money, kind of like me at this point. At one point, I did like it. Okay. But, as you become jaded in any business, you kind of, the passion goes away and it just turns into a grind. It turns into a gig. And, that's really what it is for the two of us at this point. It's just a gig. But in any event, he learned so much from doing these videos and stuff like that. And, at least he appreciates it. You have to appreciate knowledge. You can't just be letting somebody else do shit for you, because, at some point you're going to have to do it for yourself. Next case. Am I sad that the passion went away? I mean, I still have passion for certain things, okay? You look at, when you talk about passion, it relates a lot to what you do every day. Okay, I get up every day and I do this. Okay, there's got to be some passion behind it, or else I wouldn't do it. I mean, I don't need to do this every day. I do this more for me than I do it for anybody else. I just like to be present. I like to put a face to the group. I mean, no matter what the brand name is on it, I always did this. And, we kind of, we just keep moving forward with stuff. A photographer once wrote a book called How Going Pro Ruined My Hobby. Yeah. I mean, I was always a pro at this. Not a pro like in terms of knowledge. I always did it for money. Okay. I was never one of these guys that just like sat there, ooh, let's look at the watch. I mean, it was always for money. When I came up, I was coming up in the mid 90s with all of this stuff, going to IWJG shows, learning about fake stuff, bootlegging t-shirts. I mean, we did it all in the beginning, man. We were fucking nuts. And you begin to really, you put yourself in there. And the forums were where we shared information. And it's just like a chat group. And it was me, Eric Koo, Gary, Mark Smith, who's watching right now. I mean, we were all in these chat groups. And that's where we all kind of like honed our skills. We would talk about things. We would shoot people down. We would get shot down. Turfers back in the day. That was Gil's page, believe it or not. Gil started that page. I mean, we all had these, had these moments in the hobby, as you like to call it. I mean, I consider myself, a professional collector. Kamal came up with that. And Kamal is, Mark knows who Kamal is, if Mark is still watching. I saw him here for a minute. Kamal came up with that terminology. It is absolutely perfect. It fits me. It suits me perfectly. He ran it. Yes. Thank you, Eric. But Gil was always big on turfers, and that was when Gil was doing the Watch Collector New York. Before that, even when Gil was first starting, I remember meeting Gil through Morgan Perignon. Morgan, oh my God, I can't even remember Morgan's name. You know Morgan, who I'm talking about, Eric, if you know Gil. That's how I met Gil. Gil had to deliver me a gold Yachtmaster because I sent a bunch of parts to Morgan. This is 2000, 2001. And I met Gil in Staten Island. He was driving a yellow Lotus. And I met up with him and we were buddies ever since. crazy, man. Just crazy. My favorite jeweler? I don't really have one. Tony. Tony's my favorite jeweler. Tony does custom jewelry for a lot of people, very low key. Everybody else is out there on the internet trying to push their skills. Tony does it by himself, him and his mother. How would you start over again if you were talking to you? I don't go back like that. I don't look back, I look back in anger a lot of times. You're the Lambo guy from Vegas? No shit. Okay, I know who you are. Pleasure, brother. Yeah, we were in the sneaker business. Real fucking. Would I be at the Watch Wind-Up show today? I would sooner beat myself over the head with bags of very overripe avocados than go to one of these fucking get-together shits. No thanks. That's not for me. Not for me. I don't need to sit around and bloviate around a bunch of fucking momos talking about watches. Please. I'd rather sit in the office and fall asleep. What advice would I give to young James Buckley Jr.? You mean? James Buckley Sr. is my father. James Buckley the first is my father. James Buckley the second is James Buckley. Yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking go to those things. Did I make money? No, we lost more money than we made in the sneaker business. Yeah, look back in anger. One of my favorite records, I think that was Lodger. One of my favorite Bowie records. Was there a time when I was actually enjoyed those events? Yeah, I did enjoy those events for years. I loved it. We would do that without the internet. I remember my first IWJG show. I remember my first Worldwide Trader show. We used to do them at the Metropolitan Pavilion, IWJG. It was a huge deal. Oh, we would stay in the city. It was fucking nuts. Yeah, fall asleep in the tomato patch. That's right, Bobby. I don't know. I look back and I say to myself, it's like, I don't know. Everybody looks back and, we say, yeah, we should have done this, should have done that. But you know what? You didn't. You did what you did. And you know what? You own it and you live with it. And that's what you do. Back in the day in those shows that I sell mostly parts, I did both. Believe it or not, I did both. Yeah, did I ever do construction? Yeah, the second biggest loss I ever had was in construction. First biggest loss I'm experiencing now. Both times, first time I ever had a partner. And I should have learned from that. Yeah, you accept the things you can't change and you move on. Exactly. And you live with it. You make decisions. I live with stuff. I'm one of those guys that's like, I own it. It's me. I fucking live with it. I don't really give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck. Do I buy from overseas? No. I had a guy sitting in there talking to me about, going overseas to buy watches. I'm like, yeah, you could do it once or twice. You could do it once or twice, but you get caught doing that, you're going to, the guy was a real guy, really nice guy too. So I don't know. I talk to people, as openly and honestly as I possibly can. I'm here every day. So I'm not, I don't hide, I don't screw people over and then, hide in the shadows or don't answer questions and stuff. I don't answer questions, from a legal standpoint. Yeah, it's the truth. Yeah, personal responsibility is connected to long-term sobriety. And, friends of Bill, as, we speak of, folks here because anonymous is always the key. It's like you have to have a sense of responsibility to yourself and others. And when you're reading the big book and you go through step work and you're working on yourself, working on that, your character defects and your attitude. It's more, everybody talks about character defects. It's more an attitude adjustment. I always found that contributes to your, I don't want to say amending, but curbing your character defects. I still have the same character defects that I've always had. I just don't act on them in the same way. I'm an arrogant, I was an arrogant fucking bum in the streets, okay? It's like, I'm still an arrogant motherfucker. I just am. Sometimes I come off as, kind or, helpful and this and that. But deep down inside, I am an arrogant person who is very possessive of anything that's mine and stuff that may be yours too, if you're utilizing it in a way that I don't like it. It's just who I am. Yeah, friend of Bill. I don't know. How would you recommend handling historically significant items? Look, it depends on what it is. If you're holding, a piece of origami from, 50 years ago, you're going to handle it with care. If you're dealing with a watch, it's made to be worn. Yeah, I'm a dick and I know it. Thank you. you know. No, I don't have to go to Hong Kong. I don't know if it's standard for a New York City native. I mean, growing up in New York in the 70s was it was just a mind blowing, unbelievably. I mean, I was speaking about it with somebody yesterday. I don't recall who it was. And we were talking about how we grew up differently. We grew up, I mean, guy was a little younger than me. Okay, but he was like, there were no cameras. I was like, yeah, okay. I was out there in the 70s when shit was wild. And there were no cameras. There was no accountability back then. And it played into, your stepping stones to become a friend of Bill. Let's put it that way. And when you look back on all of that stuff, I wouldn't trade those experiences for anything. I mean, everybody's like, well, I would never do this. Well, I would have done this differently. I fuck that. I do it the same exact way. And I lose the same way, and then I'd win the same way. I don't get up every day and have regrets. I get up every day and I say, you know what? I fucked up and I own it and I move forward. Yeah, that's right, Phil. That was you. That was you that we were speaking with. That's right. It was you when you were in the store. Do you remember we grew up and there were serial killers? Yeah. I watch them all the time. I love serial killer shit. Listen, if they could take a piece out of exhibition, do it. Listen, man, I've had cops, go through my pockets, go like this, look, put it back in and tell me get the fuck out of here. I've had that happen, up on 110th and Lex. What you know about 110th and Lex, son? What you know about that? Scary, scary fucking place, man. Scary fucking place. Wouldn't change it for anything. Wouldn't change it for anything. It gives you this unbelievable perspective. Unbelievable perspective it gives you. And I'm all about perspective. All about perspective. 110th and Lex, son. What you know about that? Oh, let me tell you something. The streets out there in the 80s, Jesus. If I could shut down one watch company, I don't care. I don't give a shit. Tuscany Rose Group is good. It's hanging in there. It's doing okay. Do I think New York City has passed its prime? I don't know. I do know that this guy Mondami is going to win, and he's going to try to change things. It's really not going to probably, make a difference to your everyday life. But everybody's flipping out over it. It's like, who gives a fuck? I never had a mayor that changed anything for me in New York in all the years that I lived there. I could be surprised, but rarely fazed. Correct. Absolutely correct. 734. 734. What's the best way to buy a watch? If you're worried about the watch at $5,000 holding its own, then you shouldn't be buying a watch. I don't know if everything changed after 9/11. I don't know. I mean, everything changed in the world after 9/11 more so. Listen, I think Jose is there today. I think so. You know Jose. Jose pops up when he wants. I'm there. Next case. Yeah, I mean, growing up in New York, there's a certain level of desensitization that comes with being, living through the 70s in New York. I mean, I see stuff in the streets now. It's bad. It's super bad. I don't have a 18030 bracelet. Go through the website. Did I ever have Brooklyn Square Pizza? Peter Pizza is my bro. Love Peter Pizza. He's actually opening a place in Marlboro now. Yeah, he changed it to Disney World, and now it's turning back. If you haven't looked on 42nd Street, it's not good. Yeah, we're a dying breed, Nelson. Fucking A. Fucking A. Fucking A. Yeah, we got a meeting today. Yeah, I lived through the 80s and the Gotti era, you know. I had friends. Listen, I grew up in South Brooklyn. You know, we were, you know, within the Gallo subculture, if you guys know what I mean. Juggalo Bandit. Look at you. Thoughts on selling watches? Is it part-time business? It's great part-time business. Join the group. That's how you start. Dumalina's, yeah. Yeah, New York in the 70s was magical. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it was. I love the city. I actually, you know what? I took the subway for years, you know, every day. My wife did too. We all did. Everyone lives in New York, you take the subway. You know, we would take a taxi every once in a while coming home if we went out, but I would always take a subway. Love the subway. Not anymore. Crazy, man. Good, crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy. Yeah, we know. We were talking about Ace. We were talking about our boy Ace. Fuck. Sad. Yeah. It was passionate. You know, it's like you don't go, every place in New York is corporate, especially in Midtown. The R train to Astoria. Yeah, look at that. Some good shit. What would I choose out of Bitcoin and gold? Give me gold. Yeah, we're built different. You're right, Phil. 100% right, babe. Absolutely. Good morning, Savannah, Georgia. Would I still take the subway? Yeah, I don't fucking care. You're not allowed to be armed down in the subway. Yeah, okay. Not allowed to be armed in a lot of places. doesn't mean you walk around naked. Let's put it that way. The new Hamilton khaki navy. I always hear about this. Who's going to be mayor? Mondami is going to be mayor. Stop. You got the people that have nothing better to do are going to vote. The people that actually have lives don't give a fuck. Metro cards. I used to have tokens. Remember the little tokens? I remember its subway token was 35 cents. That's as cheap as I remember. My father remembers like 5 cents, 10 cents. Crazy. Yeah, I couldn't care less about Mondami. Who gives a shit? Yeah, you have a lot of them. That's cool, man. Yeah, the golden years. Ed Faber, I was supposed to see him. He's coming to the show. Yeah, who's really out there voting? All the rich people I know are voting for him, but they don't really vote. They just sit back there and pontificate. They're like, well, you know, it's going to be really good for the... Yeah, okay. Go for it. Pedro, I'm doing well. Thank you. Yeah, listen. I don't walk around naked. I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances. Oh, you gotta, even if you're licensed, okay, and we're licensed, it's like you're not allowed to walk through Times Square, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. You gotta be careful. I don't know if tables are sold out. You gotta ask Jordo. Gotta ask Uncle Jordo. 739. Yeah, listen, we used to jump fares. Remember getting busted when you jump the turnstile? Cop would come out of nowhere. Hey, come here. Give you a ticket. I like Greek olive oil. I have Spanish olive oil in the office when I make avocado toast. It's some good shit. Some really good shit. Yeah, I don't like to utilize anything that has a trademark attached to it. Jordan's the straw that stirs the drink. Yes, he is. Lebanese olive oil. Yeah, it sounds like good stuff. Do I source watches? Yes. James Buckley does. Yeah, we survived. It's Mayor Dinkins. What about Mayor Lindsay? Mayor Dinkins was soft. Mayor Lindsay, you had to survive that. What you know about that, Nelson? You're young. Yeah. We source whatever. We do new watches like that. Australian olive oil. Okay. Sounds good. Mayor Lindsay, yeah, let's go. You guys want to go there? Let's go. Mayor Koch right after that. Oh, Ed Koch was the worst. Right, Bobby? Jesus. Ah, boys and girls. Yeah, Bloomberg was another, I don't know. Never been affected by the mayor. Never. Yeah, Giuliani cleaned up the streets. Big fucking deal. Pushed it out to the suburbs and into the inner city. Didn't clean up Bushwick, I'll tell you that. Say whatever you want. Could say whatever you want. Bushwick got gentrified during Giuliani years. I was working out there. I was a caseworker out there, and I remember the wars between city council people and stuff like that. I go back, people. I don't just sit here and run bullshit. Yeah, the obsidian dial. That's nice. Good morning and God bless you. Thank you so much. What kind of casework? I ran programs. I ran social service programs, welfare to work, all kinds of stuff. Is there a matte blue 16014 dial? Probably. Did I enjoy being a caseworker? Yeah, I did. I did. I really did. That's something that I was very passionate about. When we ran programs out there, it was, how could I say it? It's like you were the go-to for so many people for so many services, childcare, getting a job training, computer studies, all of that stuff. We ran everything. How come I left it? Because I moved to New Jersey. Thank you so much. Thank you, Greg. Did I do watches? Yeah, I was starting out. The way I started out when I was a caseworker, I remember I got my first job, I think it was 1996 or 97, something like that. And I was just starting to understand eBay and understand selling stuff. And I used to sell watch catalogs. If you go back to I have my original eBay page is still up, Tuscany Rose. And you'll see that I sold catalogs. I would get them for free and I would sell them. And I'd have all my workers, I would have them go through the DuPont registry and Rob Report. And we would, have all these catalogs ordered and sent to their houses. They'd bring them to me and I would sell them. I would buy lunch and stuff like that. I always looked out. But that's what I did. Minimum income, living comfortably. You can't live in Manhattan for less than 200 grand. I'm sorry, you can't. Can't afford it. Oh, my eBay is legendary. Is Mark Smith still here? Mark, are you still watching? Mark knows those days. That's my dog right there. Real OG. You guys don't realize the real OGs that pop in over here and don't say a word. I see them. Anthony Farrar's in jail. Fuck him. Fuck him. Yeah, it was fun. He'll be out and he'll be in videos with people. You will see. Not me, because I don't do videos with people, I'm a firm believer in 6 degrees of separation. It's more like 1 or 2 degrees of separation. I don't fuck with that. Yeah, me and Bobby. Bobby runs his game and I run mine. We had a phone call yesterday, a really interesting phone call from somebody that wants us to do a promotion for them in the city, which was kind of interesting. James Buckley and I are still deciding. We got to see the guy. Hey, go be a lawyer, Kevin. Love it. Love it, brother. We got to see. Monday's a crazy day it's going to be. It's a really crazy day. Did I do business? No, I never did. Never did. Good morning, good morning, good morning. 7:44. I can see who's on usually, but you have to comment. Contempt and sheet. You're funny. Did I go to college? Yeah, I went to college for 2 years before I flunked out. My son never went to college. My son was smarter than that. He was like, fuck that. I'm not wasting money. Yeah, we were talking about all these kids that went to college. Phew. Rocco, good morning. Speaking of kids that went to college, good morning, Rocco. How are you, buddy? Tony's got your wife's ring. I think I left it with him. College sucked. My brain wasn't right, so Crazy. I learned everything from Archie Luxury. Okay, that's cool. My opinion on college is if you're going to be an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, or engineer, go to college. You're gonna, you're gonna go, work as a dispatcher somewhere. Don't. Save the money. Yeah, we call it university. Yeah. I'm fucking with Rocco a little bit. I just feel like messing with him. I am 61 years old. I will be 62 in January. And it's going to be a big birthday for me. A big birthday. Huge birthday. Yeah. A lot of people go to college and don't make it out. Yeah, college fees are ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Party's going to be right here. Party will be right here. Will I get herself a new watch? No, I don't really give a shit. I don't care. Gen X doing Gen X shit. My father is German and Irish. Yes, he is. James Francis Buckley. Same as my son. Going to Gary Michaels? Tell Mark I said what up. Mark will look out. Listen, education comes from many different things. I don't have any LV stuff left. I got rid of it all. Jimmy the Flipper bought it. My father's retired. He worked for UPS. Very humble man. My favorite bar in the New York City when I used to drink was the Ear Inn down on Avenue A. Or it was right between Avenue A and B. I think it was 7th Street or 6th Street or something like that. Oh, no, that was the one. No, the Ear Inn was down in Gansevoort. No, Sophie's Bar, it was called. We used to go there back in like the early to mid 80s. Anybody go to Sophie's down on the Lower East Side? What you know about that? If I needed to live off the interest on $500,000, where would I park my? How much interest is on $500,000? Not a hell of a lot. Yeah, lot. Yeah, Sophie's Bar. Neeraj, speaking of Sophie's. What up, baby? My favorite landlord. Sophie's is still there in Neeraj. Really? That's crazy. Tell Paul when he's get back from Rome to come to the store and bring me a big sparkle, please. World War II combat bet and wise guy. New caddy every year. Yeah, nice. Money got tight. He bought a Cordova, remember? Ricardo Montalban. The Chrysler Cordova. Corinthian leather. These guys don't know about this shit. Santander gives 6% on $500,000. What are you making every year? I don't know. I don't know how livable that is. You want to live like a college student, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Can't tell you, people. Cannot tell you. Yeah, I feel you. Hogs Baffleworth is talking about it. In Thailand, yeah. You can go live in Bora Bora. Yeah. Winter's coming, people. It's going to suck. It is going to suck. Fucking A. $7:49. 49 minutes in. Yeah, the higher your frequency of your idols dying. Yeah. I mean, Ace Frehley and Jimmy Page were my two favorite guitar players growing up. When Eddie Van Halen came on the scene, I was not a big Van Halen guy. I was always a Rick Derringer guy before Van Halen. I mean, Rick, paved the road for Eddie Van Halen. Nobody really wants to, kind of speak on that, but Rick definitely paved the road. Bora Bora is expensive. I don't know. You see these videos, it looks cheap. Yeah, Rick was the GOAT. I love Rick. He's dead now. Another one who died this year, sadly. Yeah, sad. Super sad. Yeah, we start seeing our idols dying. It's sad. Very sad. Steven, have a good day, brother. 7:50. 7:50, we're rocking and rolling. We live on the memories. Yeah, I mean, oh my God. Where's Bobby Macchia? Bobby, are you here? Bobby Mox. Bobby. Are you here, Bobby? Yeah, Rick Derringer played Hang On Sloopy when he was 16, but Rick played with Johnny Winter. I think Cream is better. Bobby, I told you the story of me and your boy Alan Herkin Torres, the Honorable Alan Herkin Torres, when we were going to see Kiss in 77 or 78. You know that story? I told you that story on the subway. No joke, bro. Alan had heart. Alan definitely had heart. He was a little stupid too sometimes, but that was him. I'm supposed to talk to him at some point. He called me 2 weeks ago. He's like, let's catch up. Let's go out. He's too busy. He's a busy man. I love Alan, my bro. You were in jail with a guy called... Yeah, really, no shit. What the hell's going on here? Sophie's is still there in Thailand? No shit. Did I go to Studio 54? Yes. Spent many a year. Jay, good morning. $1,000 a day? That's not cheap. It's not terrible. Slash is always good. Yeah, Slash is New Jack, though. Listen, they lived too, but nobody lived like Ace Frehley. These guys lived. I remind you of Adam Sandler? Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's a compliment, I guess. I'm better dressed than him, not by much. My wife yells at me. Next case. Let's start getting this thing going, guys. 8 minutes. 8 minutes left. 7.5, I guess. Yeah, Edgar, I know. Good evening, Australia. I don't know. I'm not an actor. I mean, I don't know. I love Sandler. Don't get me wrong. Talented guy. A 234 or a 233? I don't know. Trading seats on the Titanics. Do I know Lexi? Who's Lexi? Yeah, red backpacks. I'm going to change it off, I think. What time will I be on tomorrow? Probably 8 o'clock. Yasha seems like... Yeah, Yasha's a lot of fun. Nicest guy. Yeah, the Bengals. I'm not making picks anymore, guys. We spoke about that last night. I'm not getting involved in that. It's like sitting over here promoting drinking or something else. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm done. Sorry. Josie and the Pussycats. Hell yeah. Porsche Club's going to be driving our cars to the Boardwalk Fun. Oh, nice. We're going to do a Cars and Watches thing at some point. I'm just waiting for the restaurant to open next door. We're going to be doing a Veterans thing also. The Veterans Watchmaker video is coming out today, guys, on YouTube, I think this afternoon. So be ready to watch it. And then there's Jeff Beck. Yeah. Beck was great. Don't get me wrong. At the Arms concert, he blew everyone off the stage. I was there. Blew them off the stage. Literally. Clapton, Page, whomever. Yeah, the Veterans video is out. It's scheduled to drop. Buckley put it up. Yay, THC. Next case. Have you ever been to the Bing? No, it's actually a real strip club. I don't go to strip clubs. Not what I do. It's not what I do. Again, that falls in under the heading of, promoting, negative behavior. I don't like that. People have daughters. It's not fun. It's not cool. Yeah. Derek Trucks? Okay. I don't know who he is, but now I'm going to have to look. CBGB's. I was a Max's guy, not a CBGB guy. I went to Max's way more than I went to CBGB's. Bada bing, yeah. No shit. Yeah, it's exploitative. I don't know. I've been kind of having this epiphany. I'm over here, making picks on sports betting. I don't believe in it. I don't think it's a good thing for the sport, for any sports. I think it's terrible. It's one thing to go to the bookie and you put your bet in and this, that. It's another thing to have, you're watching a game and they put up odds on whether the pitcher's split finger curveball is going to be a strike or a ball. It's just terrible. They just promote terrible habits. Oh, okay. Allman Brothers? Yeah, he's young. Is he playing with Dickie Betts? Mark Greenberg was playing with Dickie Betts. You guys know Mark Greenberg, my old buddy. Yeah, you don't need to go to the casino anymore. It's terrible. I'm not that guy. I don't do that. I don't know about I'm not trying to be a do-gooder, Greg. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me. It just doesn't. It's like, I don't know. I did it for so many years. I always would, I'd make my picks and this and that, and I never bet. So what I was doing was basically promoting somebody else's bad habits. That's not cool. $20,000 to energy pays you $3,000 every 90 days for 20 grand. Doesn't sound like it's going to, I don't know. That doesn't sound kosher. But then again, crypto, you know it better than me. I don't. Another S-class? No, I don't know. I'm not going to the dark side, I'll tell you. I don't even know if there are two types of music, country and Western. Country Western music, at least these guys play. At least they actually play. Yeah, I still have it in the safe. It's sitting there. I'm using the app. Yeah. Yeah, I've got 1,000 ounces. I don't know. I couldn't tell you guys. 3 minutes. Jerry Reed, yeah. Thank you, brother. I used to when I was young. I rode. Not anymore. Every once in a while I get this motivation. I'm like, wow, I'm going to go out and buy like a really cool Harley. And then I'm like, I'm an idiot if I do that. I'm not doing that at 60 years old. Too many maniacs on the road, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm a jerk off. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother. I definitely can be a jerk off. Yes, I can. I definitely can be. Yeah. I don't know. It's not a lot of money. James is going live today. I hope so. I really hope so. I was listening to Glenn Campbell and Roy Clark. I mean, when you talk about guys, underrated guitar players, great guitar players. I love spicy food once in a while. Get a Vespa? No, thanks. No, thanks. I'm going to be driving big, obnoxious vehicles for the rest of my life, like I always have. 758. Glenn and Roy. Would I buy James a house, or are you making him pay his own? I would buy him a house. Listen, why not? I mean, he's paying his own way, obviously, but at some point, that's why we work, so that we could take care of our children. Stevie Ray, my wife saw him live. I was never a big Stevie Ray guy. What was 47? It's a lot like it was now, only without the bullshit. Who? Oh, he opened for Robert Plant. Well, that's baloney, melting down APs. That wasn't an actual AP. That bracelet would sell for a lot more money. If I want to adopt you, no, it's okay. It's okay. One more minute, guys, and we out like the gout. Fucking A. Next case. So, guys, we will be back on tomorrow. And you need a two-tone for it. I don't know. Talk to James Buckley. We will be on tomorrow. You got dibs on James's room? Okay, you got it. We'll probably be on at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We've got a big day tomorrow. Today, tomorrow, Sunday. A lot of stuff going on. Whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to relive Mad Max. Yeah, God forbid. It's crazy stuff, my people. Do I need a Wander Box? No. No. Land Cruiser's a good watch. I drove Sequoias for years. I had more Sequoias than I can count. That used to be my other go-to. Now I drive Jeep because it's cheaper. Mark, take care, buddy. Guys, we out.